Hello, everybody. Chad with Trigger Dirt. I recently did a blog about dry fire. Today, I just want to do a video, just kind of elaborate a little bit, show you visually some things you can do. This isn't every type of dry fire that you can do because there's a lot of stuff you can integrate into dry fire. I just want to throw out a couple examples. One being just as if you're a new firearm, just simply taking the gun, pushing it out from the high ready, and pulling the trigger and seeing where that front sight or reticle follows is a very important thing. If I go out, if I punch out and I pull that trigger and my front sight slingshot's low left, I know something's not right. Typically, if you're shooting low left, that means you are jerking that trigger. If you're right-handed, left-handed, would be something different. But right now, I'm going to draw my gun, verify, triple check that it's unloaded, nothing in the chamber, magazine's empty. I do have a spare mag, nothing in there. Actually, let's take this out of the holster for the drill. Triple check, nothing in there. So from the high ready, all I'm simply doing for this dry fire process is pushing out in front of me and pulling that trigger. When I pull that trigger, again, I'm making sure that my reticle or my front sight, whatever I'm focused on, has no movement. I should be able to pull that trigger without front sight movement at all. If I have no movement, I'm doing good things. If I do have a movement, I need to figure out why I have a movement and how do I correct that movement. Because every little movement that you do while you pull that trigger is going to correlate to a miss downrange. Depending on how much movement will depend how bad you miss. It could be minimal, it could be quite a bit. So again, I'm just going to go from the high ready, punch out, pull trigger, boom, no movement, finger goes back on the side, and that is a simple dry fire from the high ready. If I want to do a dry fire from the holster, which I do this quite often, I do quite a bit of dry fire, but I really enjoy the dry fire out of the holster. In my perspective, holster draw is one of the more important things in a defensive situation because if you have a clean holster draw, you're probably going to be able to get out on target real quick and possibly be faster than the person that's trying to do you harm. Because the person trying to do you harm probably isn't as proficient in firearms as you should be trying to get. So from the holster, I'm simply bringing my shirt up, boom. Same thing, I'm just looking for that front sight reticle movement. If I had no movement, awesome. If I did, now it's time to figure out. Now, yeah, you can come at this and you can pull that trigger nice and slow and not getting any radical movement. But what I want to do is I kind of want to play with things. I want to see what happens if I squeeze overly hard, or if I change my finger angle, or if maybe I have my hand a little more forward or a little more back, or I have this grip here. If I start pulling the trigger, my reticle is going everywhere. But if I simply bring my hand up and play with that, tighten up my grip a little bit, now I have no front sight movement. So grip and trigger pull are typically your two most areas that you need to focus on if you have front sight movement. Very, very important things. Other things we can do is reloads. So I can practice, boop, change, and then pull the trigger. And then I just simulated a reload. And then I can add, if right now I don't have any dummy rounds, I left those at work. But reloads or dummy rounds are great for reloads. And also dummy rounds are great for failure drills while you're actually actively firing on the range. If I go to draw, click, nothing happens, what do I do? Well, in order to simulate that properly, have some actual some dummy rounds that will simulate that dead gun. Now, you can also dry fire with an AR-15, not just pistol. What can I do? I can work on my low readies just by simply, whoop, just like that. This particular rifle, this particular rifle has a dry fire setup called the Mantis, the Blackbeard. What this does is it resets my trigger so I can keep firing. Now, this isn't something you need. It is kind of a Gucci item, this luxury item, I should say, to help enhance performance. Like I said, you don't need it. You can do the same thing as with a pistol as you can with this Blackbeard. Right now, I just have the benefit of it resets the trigger and it shoots a laser out to kind of show me where I impacted. But again, we're going to start from the low ready and just take that low ready. Just like that. I can do high ready. And what I'm practicing is making sure that the stock goes into my shoulder the exact same place I have a consistent trigger pull. I'm not jerking that trigger anywhere. That I'm just creating a memory that I know when shit hits the fan, I'm going to be able to resort to that because I've done it so many times that I don't need to think about it. But guys, dry fire is key. Go to YouTube, look up some different dry fire, get some ideas. You know, don't just take my word for it, but go out, seek training, start dry firing, get better, train harder, shoot farther, shoot faster. Thanks, guys.